All right, take you inside the tent, get you updated on the latest injuries in the Bay. Proud to partner with UCSF Health on this segment as always. And we bring in our good friend, Dr. Brian Feeley. Hey, Doc, what's up?
Did you say scheduled or scheduled?
I did. I went with scheduled. The snooty English pronunciation. Yes. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, Doc.
I like it.
Yeah. It's kind of a Dario Saric,
well done.
Inspired deal by Dibs. All right. So, anyway, how'd you think Jonathan Kuminga looked the other night?
I think he looked pretty well rested. I like the fact that they're still making him day-to-day. I think with these tendonitis type things, I would still go slow with him, see how he responds to a full game, and then just kind of go from there. I think these end-of-the-season type things, with tendonitis, you want to see how he responds. You really want to see how he responds the day after, see how the knee feels, and then let him see how he feels in the warm-ups tonight. If he feels good, let him play. If he's not feeling 100%, maybe let him go back on his minutes a little bit.
Is it at all troubling that a 21-year-old would have this sort of knee tendonitis so early in his career?
Nah, I think when you look at when people have tendonitis, I think they tend to be a little bit younger. So when you look at when people have these periods of tendonitis in their knee, it tends to be in their early career, kind of 3 to 5 years out, and then into their 30s. So it peaks right around Kuminga's time, and then when they're a little bit older. It's different in their ankle and their Achilles. Achilles tendonitis tends to crop up in their late 20s, early 30s, but knee tendonitis tends to happen when they've been in the league a few years, when they've really ramped up in these 70 to 80 game seasons past college, when they've been playing a lot more than they're used to for a few seasons. So it's pretty common. I'm not worried about him long-term at all.
Andrew Wiggins missing the last two, but is listed as probable for the game in L.A. tonight. Did you see this maybe as a little bit more of a rest and timing situation, or what are you thinking about that ankle injury?
You know, I think without an acute injury like Steph had a few weeks ago, with this type of ankle injury, I think it's entirely appropriate to be day-to-day, see how he feels. I think the fact that he's been being tested out, there hasn't been this period where they've said, hey, we've got to take a break, reevaluate him in 2 weeks. I think they suggest that they're going to evaluate him today. If he feels pretty good, let him go. I mean, we're locked into at least a 10. Hopefully Sacramento drops down and we're playing Sac in the 9 or 10 position. I don't think there is a bad position to be in right here. So I think as long as he's feeling healthy, he'll play tonight. I don't think there's really a bad position to be in with Wiggins.
Chris Paul has a history of late season and playoff injuries. Are you less concerned about that recurrence based on the fact that his minutes have been down this year?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think some of them are just bad luck, but then you look at some of the hamstring strains that he's had in the playoffs. I think it's a really good, it's bad luck, right? He had that hand injury that knocks him out for 5-6 weeks of the season, but that should allow him to hit the playoffs a little bit more rested than he's been in many of the other seasons. So that may end up being a boon for us, that you get a relatively rested Chris Paul heading into the playoffs, and hopefully we get him into the first round, second round, more rested than he's been in many of the other times in his career. So hopefully we get that opportunity to see what he's like into a first round, second round, third round without any injuries.
Doc, did you think it was a really good question, or was it just a really good question?
I think it was a pretty good question.
I think you just said it again. Yeah.
No, go back. It was really good.
Yeah,
pretty good. Really good.
Thank you, Doc.
It's all based on scheduling, you know?
That's very good.
I appreciate
That's
that.
Great
It's
recall.
just well played right
tremendous
there.
stuff, Doc. Hey, great to have you as always, and we thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, you too. Dr. Brian Feeley trying to dish out some great questions right here on Willie and Dibby.
Yeah, and I just want to thank my parents for raising me the right way. I want to thank my wife Supper for supporting me through these lean times. I've been like Yaz, Mark. It's been a minute since I've actually delivered here with a good question.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 23 or something this year, and
he was 1 for 17, and then I think he went 0 for 4.
3. Okay.
I think he went 0 for 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
A hot shot in the ninth inning, but it was right at the right fielder, Dibs.
0
it
for
was
4.
Unfortunate BABIP on that play
With
last
a couple
night.
of punchies, so there you have it.
By the way, the proceeding was sponsored by UCSF Health, which means that it is ineligible for the Great Question Tote Board.
Unfortunately, you don't